this Space Monkey. You listen. Wrestling Cheers.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially when you love that Danhausen. This is Wrestling Cheers, where we like to talk about things on the Northeast Style independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is a special interview episode where we will not only be sitting down with Danhausen, we will be sitting down with, for just the Fave 5 questions, with none other than Space Monkey. I am your host. I am Justin Summers, and Wrestling Cheers is brought to you by the Trending Topics Network and Midwest Territory. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said, this is a very, very special interview episode with Danhausen and Space Monkey. So we have the interviews. They were recorded about a couple weeks back at none other than the Old Wrestling Extravaganza. And I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story. I think it gets talked about. Yes, it gets talked about during the Danhausen part, but I want to stress it. It was a year in the making for Wrestling Cheers to sponsor Old Wrestling. And it actually started way back when we first sponsored Southern Underground Pro. They, as in Old Wrestling, reached out to us and said, it was like, hey, seeing you're sponsoring shows, would you like to sponsor the Extravaganza? And this was before the Detroit show. So the Detroit show stuff was already figured out of sponsorships. And no offense, I really wasn't interested. I wanted to do more like the shows that I'm going to go to every single year. And we sponsored the Extravaganza. And little peek behind the curtain, with the sponsorship, we were allowed to sponsor a particular match. Well, I was supposed to be able to pick, but I end up not picking. But before the match was announced, I had time at Black Label Pro where I spoke with Danhausen and Space Monkey about setting some time aside during the Extravaganza and getting some interview time in. And not that long after that, maybe without a week or so afterwards, it was announced by Old Wrestling that Wrestling Cheers was sponsoring Danhausen versus Cymbal Monkey, aka Space Monkey. I was shocked. It was meant to be having two of my favorite wrestlers in a match together that I was sponsoring. So that's how all of that came about. And I won't take any more of your time. We'll get into the interviews. First, we're going to start off with Danhausen, and then right after Danhausen will be Space Monkey, and then we'll be right back to close out the show.
You wake up every morning, get yourself out of bed, and look in the mirror, and realize that you don't recognize the person looking back at you. You don't feel as whole as you should. You feel about half empty. You get in your car and go about your daily activities, and you think about all the opportunities that you missed. Opportunities you didn't take. Doors you left closed instead of open. You think about all the things that you could have done and the things that you chose to do instead. Well, that's where I come in. My name is Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham, And I am not only a motivational speaker, but I am a personal development coach, and my 3 principle system has changed the lives of countless people all over the world. I invite all of you to stay with me today and listen as I help you change your lives and give all of you a new beginning.
All right, and we're back on the podcast, and I'm being joined by the one and only Danhausen.
That's right, Danhausen. Only Danhausen now.
No Donovan Danhausen.
No, sometimes people still do that every once in a while, and I have to correct it after.
How many interviews have you done? Like, because just last night I typed in Donovan Danhausen, only 2 popped up.
I was going to say probably 2. I think it was for Jesse from Southern Underground Pro and
Got it 2.
Matthew Grant from Canada for...
Oh, that might be 3, because that one, I typed in just Donovan Danhausen.
Yeah, what was the...
Wrestling Mayhem show?
Oh,
out of Pittsburgh,
yeah.
And they were both through the phone. I'm like, oh my God,
yeah.
Do people not get many one-on-one face-to-face
No,
interviews?
because I had to do it in the car both times. So
I mean that was what, that was 2015 for Indie Mayhem.
Yeah.
Kick Out at 2 was 2017, and I can't remember if I listened to that episode because it was so long ago, and I didn't know who you were. Because I'll listen to some podcast interviews, I don't know who this person is, but I'll listen, and then I might forget stuff. And then I might meet him down the road and go, oh my God, that
was that guy.
Yeah,
or that girl. It was
so you've been around this scene now, not just in general, because you've been wrestling since 2013.
7 years, I think, give or take.
Yeah.
But
around here, the past 2 years.
Yes.
At least.
Yeah.
You've been
AIW.
I constantly give you the praise, and I think it needs to be said here. Besides your merch, that's something we'll get into later. But the fact that you took this opportunity when one person dropped out of the production, and I feel like you have made the most of just that one opportunity.
Well, because that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
If they let you, give you a little crack in the door, you break the door down and do everything you can to stand out. So it's even something with if you get put in a battle royal as a new guy, do whatever you can to make that moment.
Yeah.
This is just a long moment. So I'm just making the most of it.
It's it's one of those things to where, imagine if he didn't leave the production, you still might eventually came in because obviously you were on their radar, but now...
Yeah, but this was a nice, easy way for me to ease in.
Yeah. And now, the production where it's gone over the past year, a complete 180 after, Magnum has to retire.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's been documented me saying this. I feel like it has, but once he retired, I thought he was the dude in the production. He was the main guy. I don't care what anyone says.
Agree.
I think the audience thought that, regardless of what the idea around it was. Mm-hmm. Once he was gone, it wouldn't be authentic to keep it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even say, hey, let's make it this. It was just naturally progressed that way because it was well, either this needs to die and we need to just do something else, or it needs to change because otherwise it's not going to be the same thing. So I took it the best I could and tried influencing. And then obviously Derek and Eddie Only both agreed. And then we kind of took it a more B-movie horror snuff film route.
Yeah, and it worked.
Which fit into what I was originally doing.
Yeah.
So it kind of just morphed into that a little bit more, but then it had integrated with Derek's stuff, which is really fun, and Nate's stuff, which he needs to do more of because his is always really fun when he does do one.
Yeah. It's the dynamic between you three has just been amazing to where you lost the MVP of the production and not lost a step to where
you can't.
It could be say you guys gotten better.
Yeah, you can't afford to lose a step. You just have to keep moving.
Mm-hmm. And I feel collectively, you three are better as a team. I mean, not saying
I think I get what you're saying. Yeah,
you guys can. It could be you and Derek at one place, and then it could be you and Eddie another place,
which it will be.
And it's just, it still feels like the production, and that's one thing what's so great.
Four Chord Music Festival, it's me and Derek, and then Unsanctioned Pro, it's me and Eddie. So yeah, it works either way, which is fun.
It's fucking nuts, man.
So yeah, no, it's been good. Like you said, the production was great. But that was Magnum CK's production, and when he had to leave, it would have been a disservice to keep it the same way and be unauthentic.
Yeah.
So had to change into regardless of what it was gonna be, I was gonna do just what I do because that's what works.
Yeah.
For me, and I think the audience can tell. So I still Derek and Eddie they do their own thing, and that's great because that's what's working. And I think that's what makes us work as a team is we're all doing what we want to do rather than kind of falling under one umbrella.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's just, to me, it's just crazy how that that progression and how far we've gone, and it's still like I don't know how many tag teams or groups have like lost a member like that. Actually, if I'm going to compare it to anything, it's like DX. You go from the original version, Shawn Michaels leaving, to like Triple H taking over and going, okay, we're bringing back.
You're saying I'm Triple H.
Is that good or bad? Like take it as a compliment or insult? Okay,
I don't know. I like Triple H.
So that
comes out the Motorhead.
That makes Magnum Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to tell him that later because
he does a cool elbow drop. I know it's a Macho Man, but Shawn Michaels did a great elbow drop.
Oh yeah, I always loved his elbow drop.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
When he would do it, because I think he would do the move, like a slight move in the air with his elbow. Yeah. Because Macho Man kind of like just like elbow, yeah. But he did this like I don't know how to describe.
Also, they got the good hairy chest, both of them.
Okay. Yes. That's another thing with you, music. Like you are like so far into music. Like I think I was just listening to. I like re-listen a little bit of the Kick Out of 2 one. Like I know you're more of a hardcore kid. I can't say much like about that part of your music taste.
Yeah.
But I know like you also like bands like Slipknot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I think that side is like what perks my little bit interest because I like Slipknot. Like I think a couple.
It's the theatrics of it too, and I grew up with it. So it's I think it was 6th grade. My dad had bought the Iowa CD.
Okay.
So we'd listen to that. He just would listen to the same CD over and over and over again.
Okay. So
it was just that. And then I bought their first album. And then I'd go back to like FYE and different stores like that and just buy the little sample like EPs that were like imported. And it just had different variations of the song. So I really just listened to that from like 6th grade until like 9th grade.
Yeah, I think Corey Taylor's like really big on like import because I think Stone Sour has a couple like crazy imports too.
Yeah. And
like I think I downloaded a discography of like all their stuff, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this album has like this many imports.
Yeah,
like holy
there's a ton.
Shit.
And that's another cool thing with wrestling is like I got to like become internet friends with Corey Taylor.
That's what's nuts to me too.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like he likes wrestling. He's a cool guy. Like that's really all it was. Is I tweeted a picture of him of me wearing my shirt from 6th grade now. And he followed me and messaged me and said, "Hey, this is all really cool, blah, 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 blah." Like, we just talked about wrestling for a little bit. And every once in a while, we'll, message back and forth here and there. Or just randomly, he'll comment on my photo and be like, "This is cool." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." That's so crazy to me.
I think if I ever go to a Slipknot concert, I'm wearing a Danhausen shirt.
You should.
Just to see if he just goes like that's all. Like, even if he just like gives me like a wink like that. Right
yeah.
there,
well,
awesome.
that's what was cool is at this last tour, he was nice enough to give me tickets. And I was at the front row and he noticed me. So he was in the middle of singing and I saw him make eye contact with me and do a double take and then point right at me. And I was like, oh, that was a really cool moment right there.
Yeah.
So that's just one of those things like I'm a fan of his and I like to be able to do that for fans who come to see me too. I'm not on that level, but also I like to like for little kids and stuff, I can give them that moment, hopefully.
Yeah, you're so creative. Like in between, like the character stuff, in ring stuff, and like I alluded to earlier, like the merch. Like
I
want my merch stand out.
I want people to. I see a lot of wrestling merch, and it's awful.
Yeah,
and it's stuff that I'm like, I wouldn't wear this in public, even if I like the wrestler. Like, there's a lot of like just wrestlers in general. I'll see their stuff, and like it's not everybody, obviously.
No.
But I'm like, I wouldn't wear that, even if I like you. Like, so I try to stay away from that. And like, obviously it's personal taste, but I try to get something that people will wear in public for the most part. Obviously I have some like satanic imagery kind of stuff, but I still try to keep that sort of like just neat looking so someone will wear it.
Like you could tell it's like somewhat of I don't want to say a parody shirt, but like I know the one like tarot card one.
Yeah.
Like that obviously it's like satanic-ish, but like you can tell like where it's coming from.
Yes.
It's not just, this is satanic.
It's not just me promoting like, Satanism. I'm like, no, it's just me having fun. So
I think that's another reason why people just love you so much. You are very fun just to watch. And
well, if you're not having fun while you're wrestling, you probably shouldn't be wrestling.
Yeah.
Because there's no point otherwise.
Yeah, there's
all the travel and hurting yourself and not hurting. You know what I mean?
Well, you're throwing yourself on on wood,
getting slammed
constantly
all day. Like, hold on 1 second.
He was trying to do like behind the scenes.
He's trying to do a behind the scene poster, but I give him the Danhausen smile.
The Danhausen smile is awesome. But yeah, there are so many wrestlers that are just like that, and I never like if you're not having fun with it or you don't love it, like
I want to watch. I don't want to watch someone who looks like they're doing a job. I want to watch someone who looks like they're having fun.
Yeah, and like you take this to a just totally different level with like the character, and like even eventually, I'm going to subscribe to your Patreon. I'm waiting until like the beginning of this next month just to get it right on. But it's just like far as what friend Charlie right here has told me, that you're constantly doing stuff, and I think the people that do that are like
always
killing it.
Taking input on anything you'd like to see on there because I'm still new to it. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys your money's worth because you're helping me by subscribing to that.
Yeah.
So any suggestions I'm totally open to and I'll consider just to, so that way they stay happy.
Yeah. What has been some of your favorite places to like travel? Because I know that's something you've said that you really enjoy about wrestling.
So I haven't been back since the character change, but I really loved Austin, Texas. The Marchesa Theater for Inspire Pro was probably my favorite venue of all time.
Okay.
It was an old movie theater.
Ooh.
I think it was a movie theater and just like a stage theater combined, but it was really like, I don't know, Texas-y and classic looking, and the crowd there was insane.
Yeah.
And it was just a cool vibe altogether there. That's a place I would really like to go back to. And I was hoping, but I think Wrestle Circus closed back down.
Yeah.
But that was going to be my back to Austin, Texas. I was talking to them for a little bit. But then they just kind of closed down for whatever reason. So
tried to come back and close.
Yeah. And stuff doesn't work. So that's fine. But I would say, Austin, Texas. Where else? Massachusetts is really cool. Oh, Maine for Limitless was a really cool city. I didn't even think about it, but Stephen King is from there. So it's a low-key horror town.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of shops that are horror-based and like comic shops and just weird oddity novelty shops. And I was like, I totally didn't even think about this when I was coming here.
I figured that and like Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts is great.
With a lot of like,
I hate driving there though.
I've never been that far.
All the roads are terrible. The street design is terrible. It's like 6-way stops.
I was about to say, is it worse than? Have you ever gone to any of the back roads for Pennsylvania?
Yes,
some of those.
The back roads for Ohio and St. Louis are also awful, and Illinois.
Okay,
they're all terrible.
Yeah, I can't defend Ohio on that one, but I think because I've gone off highway on like Pennsylvania, there's some of those just like it's like a backwood town where it's just
which sometimes I like. I like driving through Pennsylvania in the mountains.
Okay,
especially fall. You drive through Pennsylvania in the fall.
Yeah,
it's great.
My curse is being a truck driver, having to drive through like a truck through just the mountains. Even if I'm going I'm going on the highways, like I'm going to like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's
I'm just like, oh, I hate this state. People are like, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, it sucks at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
you see too much of it.
Yeah. Oh, like I always say, like that and like if you're driving east to west Tennessee, like that's.
I don't know if I've had to do that or not.
Like from Memphis to Bristol, which is like right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia.
Yeah.
It's just long, and it's just like in between like the big towns. There's just nothing.
Yeah, no, that's what you get though. That's all the in between boring stuff. That's where I just listen to podcasts and zone out, and that's where I usually think of my ideas for promos or like, hey, if I wrestle this guy, I want to try this on him, and just different things of who I'd like to wrestle, and that's where my brain starts working and thinking of things.
Is there anything like food wise that you've liked on your travels that the first thing that comes to mind, like any place?
Food wise, teeth is probably the answer that people want. It's not the real answer. I eat a lot of candy, which is awful.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of gummy candy, sour candy, Airhead bites.
Okay.
Those and energy drinks. I try to do that, and I usually eat really bad after I wrestle.
Okay.
Which is awful, but I'll stop at I'll have a craving for McDonald's and a Coke.
Okay.
Which is totally stupid, but it's just one of those things where I feel I can do it because I just wrestled.
Something that I do want to somewhat get into is your marriage.
Yes.
How is this exactly working? Because I know you're from Detroit.
Yes.
Are you living?
No, I live in Detroit right now.
Okay.
We're working on immigrating me over there, and it's a long process.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It costs a lot of money, so that's why also I have the Patreon set up to help with that and just pay for costs, everything. Wrestling's going really well, but I can always use the extra help, so that's why I set up something, and I like putting out content anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's just a long process. So right now we're going back and forth. She travels all the time too because she's a burlesque performer, so we try to meet up in the same cities and book the same cities as much as possible. And obviously that doesn't always work.
When it happens, it's cool.
Yes.
I'm not big into burlesque, but she seems like such a sweetheart. Seeing her at shows.
Yeah.
I think there's this dream of wrestling fans. If there's two people who are like in a relationship, to see them together, and like if there was a way to integrate her, like even just as like a manager somewhere.
That's what someone always says that, and I always go, no.
Okay, I gotta
like. You just stay out. You already have enough with burlesque. It's the same exact thing as wrestling in terms of like travel and just people backstage and like.
I figure you have like
all of that
stupid politics and shit.
Yes, all of that is exactly the same as wrestling, but then you would just be doubling her group of drama and politics.
Yeah, it's not needed.
All of that type of stuff, and I'm like, you just stay out of wrestling.
But there is a wrestling burlesque thing going on.
Yeah, Mondo Lucha is what we're doing coming up together, which is going to be great. There's that. We want to do Lucha Vavoom eventually. Would be nice. There is also, I think WrestlePalooza does burlesque and wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, because she has friends who do that one. Sweet Pea is a burlesque performer who does that. So, and I think Eric Cannon runs it. So, yeah, those are all great ones. But we just got her first, so we're really excited, and we're going to focus on that one.
Oh yeah. What's living in or having that association with Canada like? Because I got friends in Montreal, and like we always like talk about a lot of the differences like in between like Canada and the United States.
What's weird? I always say this, and it's wrong because it is a foreign country. But if you go to Windsor or Toronto, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you're still in the States. Yeah. Once you cross the border into Quebec, it feels like a different country.
Oh yeah.
Finally, like maybe British Columbia and Vancouver area like. That probably does as well, or maybe it doesn't because it's bordering.
Yeah,
but yeah, that it sounds dumb to say, but it feels like a different country.
Well, it makes sense because of the whole language thing. Because I know the whole French aspect of Montreal is huge, and what I've talked to my friends about, an aspect that I never realized. Like you have like your French speaking, your English speaking, and then you have like this Quebecer
slang
where it's like
French slang.
What's the one like give me 2-piece toast and all this like stuff like that.
Yeah. Some of it's just kind of pronounced with a French accent.
Yeah, and it's like they don't exactly use like proper grammar when they're doing it. And it's like, and hearing my one friend do like an impression of it is hilarious. He has like on this one podcast we used to do years ago, like he carried a character just the Mountie, like supposed to be the Mountie, but he would talk in like that character, like And then he explained to me, he's like, no, that's like some people talk up here. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
How's the poutine there?
Oh, it's great. My wife hates it here when restaurants try to recreate it.
Oh yeah,
it's not the same. As much as they want it to be, it's not the same thing. It doesn't taste the same.
Legit, one of the reasons why I want to go to Canada is to get some authentic poutine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'll have to get you with you on the restaurant if you go there, but it's like a 24-hour or super, super late night famous poutine place.
Okay.
That she takes me to, and they just have, that's all they have is poutine. And it's just a bunch of different types.
Do you have like a favorite type of...
I like the regular one, honestly.
I was actually going to say just any type of like something you can get in Canada that you can't get here. Like there are things that, because food is this international like language. And then like if you find like things that are exclusive to like certain countries or what you can't get other places like that, like I know, for example, like the barbecue sauce at McDonald's in Canada is different than the one here in the United States. And I had friends, like my friends from Montreal that came to Cleveland one weekend, and I'm like, just bring me, like, well, they brought me a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, bring me this, because I've heard it's different, and I actually tried them side by side.
Yeah.
It's, theirs is a little sweeter, ours is more...
tangy?
Yes. I think that's what it was, and it's just like a small difference, but I know...
I just noticed the difference in price. They don't have a dollar menu there.
Okay, yeah.
That's really, also, I don't really like McDonald's that much, but it's just usually on the way, and it's cheap, and like...
Yeah.
I try to save money if I'm on the road.
What about like stuff like up there? They have like passion flaky and like you know what I'm talking about? Like
no. I know they have the maple sticks. Those are good. They just got them in Old Montreal. They had little parlors with just like the boiling maple, and then it dries up. You eat it like a sucker.
I've had like some maple candy from there, and
that's
those are interesting.
Yep.
Where it's just like I think I wanted a sucker, but my friends brought me like just like hard candy, which was good enough.
Yeah.
And it too, I didn't until I tried it. There is a real difference between their maple syrup, Canada's maple syrup, and ours. I even tried like comparing it with Vermont, because I'm like, all right, Vermont is supposed to be like the best, and like doing a side by side comparison, like, oh my god, Canada's maple syrup really is better. It's nuts.
Yeah, no. Usually I just skip on it.
Okay.
And just don't get it. because they charge extra for it, and I'm just like, it's just pure sugar.
Okay.
I have to wrestle shirtless, so I try to as much as I can eat sort of well.
All right, we're coming down on time, and we're going to end this like we do a lot of other episodes. And we're going
if you got a couple more questions, that's fine.
Well, we have the Fave 5 questions.
Okay, we can do that.
So we'll get into those. And I tailored my last question around whoever my guest is, and basically the Fave 5 questions is in honor of Booker T.
D-Bry.
And if you ever paid attention, he had more than 5 people in his Fave 5. So there's 6 questions.
Hey, this is Booker T, 5-time champ, and this is the Fave 5 questions. Now, can you dig it?
And these are somewhat at random, just depending on which ones, because there's a whole list I can ask. Since you're a traveler, we'll start with a big one. Sheetz or Wawa, or do you have a third option?
I'm going to be controversial here, and I'm going to say it's gas station food, and it's all kind of terrible.
Not too controversial, because I've heard somebody say
it's
that.
Gas station food.
Okay.
I think me and Alley Cat have talked about this on Twitter because someone said something, we both chimed in, and we're like, it's gas station food. Mm-hmm. Who cares? But if I have to pick one, Sheetz.
Okay.
Because their coffee is better. They have the custom coffee orders.
Oh.
And you get banana cold brew.
Oh,
it's good.
Oh, side note, the thing that I forgot to mention, I want to express here on this show, is that like today we're here at Old Wrestling, and you have a match with Space Monkey or Symbol Monkey today. Symbol Monkey here, and I have like plans of like interviewing you and a little bit with him later.
Yeah,
that happened to be the match that Wrestling Cheers is sponsoring, and believe it or not, I didn't pick it.
I don't believe this for a second.
Fontaine actually picked it for me.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, you have no idea like how perfect this is.
Yeah.
Like I had plans with both of these wrestlers before the show.
Yeah. No, that works out perfectly.
Like I think it's so awesome.
Yeah. No, that's great. Also Love's is good. Going back to the gas station.
I do love
Love's is probably my favorite.
As a truck driver, they have the best point system.
Okay. So I don't even have to deal with that. I just don't know why. I see a Love's, that's usually where I stop.
Same, but it's more or less because of that point system. When you fill up diesel, you get 1 point per dollar spent, I think it is, per gallon.
Yeah.
And those add up, and then like there's tiers where you can get like more points per gallon.
Gotcha.
So like I've had like $50 or so, maybe even more. Like I can just go and like spend as a free money.
They usually seem to have the best deals too.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to go there. And they have fresh fruit and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know how fresh it is, but it's usually fine.
It's decent. Now, like some of the ones that have like hard-boiled eggs, that's like something I like to eat from time to time. And like
those are awful.
You don't like hard-boiled? I just don't.
No, those ones from the gas station are awful.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had them.
On the road, it's decent enough.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go back to the Fave 5. Question number 2. This is kind of up your alley. Addams Family or Munsters?
Addams Family. I think it's more entertaining. Yeah. Also, just I remember one of the first movies I remember as a kid is Addams Family Values.
Okay.
So I didn't even know there was another one. I thought that was the only one as a kid. So I just watched that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So Munsters is great, but Addams Family is more like my humor.
Okay. The thing that I was explaining to, I don't think there's a really right or wrong answer because they both have their...
I think Munsters is more wholesome. Yeah. And especially in the movies for Addams Family, it's more of a dark humor.
Yeah.
So I like that a little bit more.
We also grew up in an era where Addams Family, because of those movies, and there was a cartoon show, there was a lot more of it. Like I even obviously remember the Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
For the
well, I love Raul Julia too. So
yeah,
there's Christopher Lloyd. Was it Angela Bassett? Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Played Morticia. Yeah. Everyone in that movie is awesome.
Christina Ricci.
Yep. I don't know who played Pugsley, but I'm sure he's
I don't know exactly who that is.
Fine.
But yeah, there's definitely no right or wrong answer because they feel like
Joan Cusack.
Yeah, Addams Family is this gothic horror family, and then the Munsters is
a wholesome.
As if Universal Monsters was a sitcom, and they're like the only one in the town like that.
But it's a very specific type of show, and the Munsters or the Addams Family is more quirky and weird.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is they were on at the exact same time.
Yeah,
they started like weeks from each other and ended weeks from each other.
Yeah,
so that's.
I like both, but I have to go Addams Family.
All right. Question number 3. Rank the fast food chicken nuggets between McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's.
Ooh, this is assuming they're all fresh, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would say fresh, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
Okay.
Burger King is awful usually.
The trick for this is to get someone to rank Burger King higher than 3.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. I do like that they have the Impossible Whopper now, because when I can, I try to eat vegan. It tastes close enough to where I would just get it if I have to go to Burger King.
I tried it. Like, I've heard people say, oh, it tastes exactly like Whopper.
Well, it doesn't taste exactly like it.
But
I've had Impossible Burgers at better restaurants that taste better than real burgers. So, yeah, they're just, my problem with them is they're like $6 more. So,
yeah, I could see that, but there was like a weird taste difference. But where I was like, I can't eat this. It was like,
it tastes better than their garden burger.
I don't even think
I've had that.
I don't think I ever had that.
It's terrible.
I don't know. It doesn't sound good.
No, it's awful.
Maybe that's why they named this one the Impossible Whopper. They're like, garden wasn't working. Question number 4. Best physical portrayal of the Joker.
Oh, you said physical.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill would win otherwise.
That's why I put physical in it, because everyone would go, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill is easily.
Though isn't he about to like do the physical?
Oh,
like
maybe.
he's gonna fuck my question up because he's
I don't know. Is he?
Are
they doing that movie with Kevin Conroy where he's adult Batman and maybe they'll get Mark Hamill to do adult Joker?
Something like
not
that.
Adult, but
they're
senior citizen.
They're doing something.
They're doing something like that. Yeah, I don't know. The new one looks really cool and different.
Yeah.
So I'll have to wait for that. But I grew up with the Jack Nicholson one.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Leto doesn't count. That movie was awful. And his portrayal is stupid.
The thing that I'll always say about him is not a knock on him. I think if you're coming right after arguably one of the best, because I feel like him and Nicholson, people will toss up which one's the best.
The thing with Jack Nicholson is he played Jack Nicholson playing the Joker.
Yeah.
Which is, it's still great, but so Heath Ledger is probably
that's the other one. That's always him and Nicholson.
The best one in terms of not just being himself and people liking him because it's him, because people hated that he was cast as him.
That's one thing I told people recently with some of the casting, like, oh, I can't believe they're doing Robert Pattinson as Batman. I'm like,
it's like he'll probably be fine.
Yeah, it's like,
I heard it. I haven't seen a lot of his other movies, if any, but I heard they were good besides Twilight. Like that they're actually good movies and he's a good actor. So I'm whatever. I'll wait and see.
I would throw that back up in people's face because about the whole, like, I'm like, do you remember
they hated it?
And then when he came out, like, that arguably became one of the best performances.
That's probably one of the most iconic characters in the past, 10 years. When did that come out?
It was longer. I mean,
15 years then?
Yeah, because I think we're just on the
I still see it everywhere.
It's so good. And the thing with Robert Pattinson, there's 2 other movies I know I've seen him in. Water for Elephants, which
I heard that was okay, but there's like some other weird indie movies that I heard he's really good in.
The other movie I've seen, which was he played a supporting character, and I didn't even recognize it was him at first. It's Lost City of
he's coming out.
Or Lost City of
I'm
Zed.
excited for The Lighthouse that he's going to be in with Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
It's a horror movie by the guy who did The Witch.
Okay.
But he's going to be in that. It's black and white. Looks really weird and cool.
Okay. Question number 5. And this is a staple, and I love using it. It is the Wilkman question from Kick Out of 2. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I have only seen Die Hard with a Vengeance, and I've only seen it 100 times. I used to put it on VHS over and over and over and over again. So I've never seen the first Die Hard.
Okay.
But I will say go watch Die Hard with a Vengeance. It has Samuel L. Jackson. He's the co-star on that one. And it's great. I haven't watched it as an adult. I watched it so many times as a kid, though, that it's going to be instilled in my brain forever. So, sure, it can be a Christmas movie.
Okay.
It happens on Christmas, right?
The debate I get in with, that's a debate, like what I say is I don't think it's a Christmas movie, but I also think when people say...
If it's not about Christmas, there's an argument, I guess.
Well, I think, and I've said this enough on the show, that when people say Christmas movie, they actually mean a holiday movie.
Yeah.
And I think like it fit into what can be considered a Christmas movie, but not a holiday movie.
Okay.
And that's, I think, the real...
It's not about the holiday itself. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Well, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Ooh, Scrooged is good.
Okay.
Scrooged. I feel like I have an actual answer. Home Alone is great.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like people think I'm going to say Nightmare Before Christmas.
I didn't even think about that.
No, it's just it's fine. The animation is really cool. It's a cool movie, but it's one of those things where everyone's always like, "That's my favorite movie," and I'm like, "Okay."
Like, I think every girl I've dated for the past, like, so many years, they're like, I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm like,
I like it.
So does you and every female I've ever met.
No, it's just, I feel like everybody just says they like that one. And that's like, because I don't know if it's a go-to cool answer of like, oh, it's dark and it's Tim Burton.
And it's Halloween and I love Halloween. So it's Halloween and Christmas. I love Halloween.
Does Batman Returns count?
I always say if you count
If you count Die Hard, fine.
Then-
Die Hard is a movie that is for Christmas now because I'm going to pick Batman Returns.
Okay.
Even though that movie is campy too. If you go back and watch it, it's
the
really
first two are
yeah. But even like if you compare it to Batman and Robin,
Mhm.
go back and watch Batman Returns. That is almost as campy in a weird gothic way.
yeah, it's Tim Burton gothic,
Yes,
which I do.
It is
it's
absolutely
fun.
ridiculous.
All right, question number 6, and this is a perfect one for what's going on right now. If I paid you $5,000, would you stink face me?
That's Rick Ishii. 1998 WWF superstar Rick Ishii.
Actually, that's not yours. I had to. I was like, this would be a funny just throw that.
Yeah,
in
no,
there.
I finally got hit with the DM yesterday about that.
Your response was great. I loved it. I think what if every wrestler like took the dude up on his offer? Like,
Well, he responded to me.
oh, what did he say?
He just said he gave me the LMAO. I think he appreciated that someone gave him an answer.
But for you, I was thinking, what is your favorite Slipknot song?
Ooh, that's hard because I think genuinely I like all of them. Let me see. I like Iowa. I came out to it for a little bit.
Okay.
It's just like 15 minutes long, but like the actual music parts are really, really good. Was it drum? So I'm not good at drumming, but I am a drummer.
Okay.
So I appreciate a lot of the songs like that have really good drumming, like Disaster Piece.
That's
Yeah, no, the new album is really, really good.
I haven't had a chance to sit down and listen to it, but I know, like, for me, like, one of my favorite albums from them was Volume 3.
Oh, I love that
like,
one. And I don't think it gets enough credit.
No, like,
that's got the weird song. Now I'm blanking on it, but it's towards the end of the album about sneaking up on people and killing them.
yeah. I forget what
Is it Virus of Life? Yeah, I think it's Virus of
Okay.
Life. Yeah, no, that Purity was always one of my favorite songs.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's hard for me to pick just one. Gently is good.
Mhm.
They're all good. It's crazy, and they're all different. I like every album is different,
Yeah.
which I like.
I do like the creative difference of what they do with Mask and everything. They try to, like, every album has, like, a different look.
Well, and I think that too, it had an influence on me growing up. Is just visually they were really cool looking, and all their album artwork, and it was weird, and their videos were always weird, and I think it influenced me. Obviously,
You're from Detroit and you don't like ICP?
no, no. I had a lot of friends in school because they're local. So
Yeah.
actually, where I get my makeup from is the same place. I believe, I don't know if it still is, that they get theirs from,
Could be.
but it was at one point at least.
I think they don't get enough credit for, like, how creative
No, they're
they
creative.
can be.
I don't not like them.
But it's definitely, like, just what you choose. Because
Yeah,
I know,
no,
like,
it's just a thing I never got into.
Mhm.
It's a thing, like, I respect what they do. They
Mhm.
made so much money doing that, probably.
they made a brand of
They made a brand off being
pop, like,
clowns and pop. Yeah.
It's like
Pop that's not theirs.
Yeah,
It's great.
I love it. But all right, we've taken up enough of your time. Any final thoughts? Last minute plugs before we go.
No, I mean, if you can follow me on Twitter at DanhausenAD, Instagram DanhausenAD, follow the Patreon. I think it's patreon.com/lovethatdanhausen. I'm trying to put up more cool, weird stuff there that's exclusive to it.
Okay.
Yeah, just really send me art. I think my favorite thing is people sending me art.
Yeah, and that's
It's really cool.
Mhm.
I appreciate that so much because that's what I try to put out there.
Mhm.
And then it's cool just because randomly people will just send me things now. And I think it's my favorite part of being a wrestler is getting the random fan art.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't care if you think it's bad. Like, send it.
yeah.
I'll like it. So yeah, that's it.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
I'm glad to see that no one has left. But now you're asking yourself, Dr. Dan, are you going to tell us what the DCR system is? And I will tell you now. The 3 simple principles that change everyone's lives: dedication, confidence, and respect. D, C, and R. If one is dedicated to themselves, confident in oneself, and respectful of oneself, there is nothing that they cannot accomplish. Those 3 principles are the building blocks of anything you wish to achieve. If you just remember D, C, and R, there is nothing that you cannot accomplish. But sometimes you feel that isn't enough. Sometimes you need to be a little more focused on the task at hand. But don't worry. To go along with dedication, confidence, and respect, you can always remember rule number 1.
All right, we're back here on the podcast, and I am being joined by a very special monkey. We have none other. Should we say space monkey or symbol monkey today? I mean,
Monkey travel. Sometimes space, sometimes in time.
That's still good, but it's basically your space monkey loved far and wide. Since like it's really hard to get conversation out of you, your monkey, and you got monkey things to do. What we're gonna do is we're gonna ask our Fave 5 questions.
Yes.
All right. We will start with wings, bone in or out.
Ooh, maybe out because monkey eat faster.
Oh, okay. It's very rare to get anybody to say bone out.
So sometimes have more.
Sometimes.
As long as more meat.
Question number 2. Let's go with you're a traveled monkey. How do you feel, sheets or Wawa?
Ooh, anyone ever say same?
We just had Danhausen say it's all gas station food.
No, better than gas station.
Okay.
But monkey both have burrito bowl, so both make monkey happy.
Okay. Question number 3. Coffee or energy drinks?
Water?
Water. Okay.
None. Monkey have first energy drink this year.
Really?
First time ever.
What was it?
Give monkey energy. Crazy.
Okay. All right. Question number 4. Let's go with rank the fast food chicken nuggets between McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's.
Ooh, McDonald, Wendy, BK.
Okay.
King, not King this time.
Question number 5. Best physical portrayal of the Joker.
Ooh, physical. Not allowed to say Hamilton.
Nope.
Damn.
That's why it's worded that way.
Oh, this is tough. But monkey enjoyed Nicholson.
Okay.
More cartoonish, funny.
It's always between him and Heath Ledger.
Yes.
So
funny, comical, or dark.
yeah. All right. And question number 6, the question that I always tailor around my guest. Who is your favorite Donkey Kong character?
Oh, Diddy.
Diddy? Okay. A lot of inspiration from him?
Monkey have Diddy peanut shooter on new tights.
Oh, okay. I don't think I noticed that.
Blue pirates tights, space pirates.
Oh, yeah. I was lucky to see Space Pirates for the first time recently at Black Label.
Yes.
And that was so much fun. Like, you guys are awesome.
Shade Saver, really good.
Any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go, Space Monkey?
Thanks, finally, podcast. See, many years. Wrestling cheers.
Thank
Justin.
you. Yes.
So happy. Monkey back. Old today.
Yes.
This release, who know?
Not exactly sure yet.
Good
Within a month or so.
Monkey English a little better. Like Bubba. Less stutter.
Yes.
Easier podcast.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Welcome. PW Space Monkey. Everywhere.
That's true. Follow Space Monkey. He's great.
Are you looking for the newest and hottest in the world of pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 6,000 hours of the best events from over 150 of your favorite promotions from 20 different countries around the globe. Brands like Progress Wrestling, Evolve Wrestling, Combat Zone, Defy, PCW Ultra, PWX, Over the Top, Shine, and hundreds of others with fresh content added every day for only $5.99 per month. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
And there you have it. Space Monkey and Danhausen. Gotta love that Danhausen. So let's wrap this show up. You can find myself at Heavyset330 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, much like you can find this show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to decide, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com, and we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Check out our friends on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, Eurovision Showcase, Old School at the Movies, and Wrestling with Altitude. Check out our other podcast friends, such as Let the Hate Flow Through You, Pod Van Dam, Super Fantastic Podcast, Road Home from Wrestling, Haunted Home Video, The IndieCast, Center Stage, So Bros Network, UXWA Today, Big Gold Belt Podcast, the Co-Host Wrestling Show, Spotlight Series, I Got Your 5 Stars, and Not Ready for Primetime Wrestling. Check out our other non-podcasting friends, such as Thrift Store Jobber, The Savage Dash, Powerslam.tv. Use Wrestling Cheers all one word and get your first month free. Ringside Shots Photography, Sickening Pictures, Stay Tough, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue, Wrestle Void, Midwest Territory, Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even if you are a monkey from space. Later.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Would you like to get